Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hey, not even a day later after I get the Outlaw buggy running and driving, Josh Wellesley dropped off his rig for a whole bunch of updates. Next few videos are going to be all about that, so stay tuned. Okay guys, here it is, Josh Wellesley's rig, a Angry Fab chassis. Definitely one of my favorite chassis out there. Super pumped for, one, him to get this buggy, two, for it to be here and I get to work on it. So first things first, one of the things he needs to do is wiring. So the wiring in this thing is a fire hazard. I think it literally caught fire a couple times on him. So we are going to be redoing every piece of wiring except for the engine harness. That's actually got pretty decent harness on there. He's got a couple little switch panels. I'm not 100% sure I'll leave them in there or not, but wiring. So this will be fully rewired job. Additional to the rewire job, it's going to need the front end pretty much cut off of it. The truss system that's on it right now is pretty shoddy to say the least. So we're going to be cutting this whole truss off, and he's got a really nice new truss going on to match the rear. The rear's done beautifully, so we're going to kind of copy the rear and yeah, redo the front truss. Additional to that, it needs a mohawk done to it and some new wobble seals put in it. I think that's it. So whole front axle needs to be disassembled. Oh, and the new third member. So this third member is pretty much blown up. It's the worst sounding Rockwell axle any of us have ever heard. It is, I cannot believe it hasn't just grenaded yet. So it is getting replaced with a brand new pullout. And yeah, so that's on the list. So we got axle and complete rewire of the buggy. Those are the two main things that it is here for. Okay, so something cool that Josh picked up. I've never seen it before, but Busted Knuckle sells this all-in-one wiring kind of like control box thing, and it is wicked cool. So it's all ready to rock and roll. I mean, the whole fuse box is there with relays. I think every single out, there's 4 outs on this one, has a 30 amp relay going to it. Very, very cool setup. So I've never installed this before. I checked it out online. It looks wicked cool. I think the Busted Knuckle buggies have the same harness going in theirs, so we'll give it a shot. Alright guys, went to town chopping away a lot of wiring, so I think I'm at a good spot. Just to recap, these are for like rock lights. This is the only one. I think white is normally your tack wire, but there's nothing that was plugged into this wire, so it must be getting tack signal from somewhere else. Actually, this doesn't have a tack, so that explains that. So anyways, that is tack signal though. Other than that, yeah, chopped out everything. I kind of leave everything just ready to rock and roll. I'm not 100% sure why this has 3 wires on it. This must have like some LED color stuff in it maybe, or like maybe there's a high beam and a low beam. I'm not 100% sure, but we will get them wired in and see after that. This thing has lights all over it, so there's lights down here. That'll be easy to hook back up. This light up here, and all of this is controlled through this box thing up here. So that would be the only thing. I might ask him if he even wants these on here anymore. They're pretty tacky, and it seems like these should be plenty of light on this rig, including that light bar up there. So might just get rid of those altogether. Additionally, I left the wire going to the alternator on there because it was already ran, and I don't have big, 2 gauge, I don't know what this is, maybe 2 gauge or 4, probably 2 wiring around here right now, so that'll work. And then you get down to here, so you got 2 powers going to the original LS fuse, basically ignition and constant, I believe. So we will make sure that those are red or hot again. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we got to chop it on here. There's freaking wires everywhere. Oh, all the way going to the back. So it actually had speaker wires powering, I don't know really the scientific matter behind using speaker wire to power anything, but it had speaker wires powering the fan and also the fuel pump. So, and instead of just using one speaker wire, they did both of them tied together to the lug. So double better, doubly good on that. But anyways, so single fan setup, we will start running some of this new stuff, at least figure out where to mount this big box at. That is one downside, is the box is fairly large, but we'll try screwing around with where to put it and go from there. So probably do that next. Alright, got her mounted in there, and I really like how it turned out, so I'm digging it. This will all be wire loomed, and real nice and covered, and I think it'll look great. So, and you can still open it, piece of cake. Oh yeah, blew all my fuses, here they are, so sweet, right? Alrighty guys, skipped ahead a little bit. Pretty happy with how that turned out. I couldn't really move the panel up any higher because the higher you go, the farther away it gets from the driver's side. And I have pretty long arms, and when I'm got the 4 points on, I start struggling to reach these. So I didn't want that. So I have it as close, as far down as I could get it to be as close to the driver. So hopefully Josh can reach him, no problem. So anyways, yeah, pretty slick. I like the way it's turning out. This is going good underneath here. Basically have all of this wire bundled together, all hooked up. Everything's on connections, so you can just easily unplug the switch panel if need be. Green is for start. It goes up and over the ECU. I'll mount the ECU back up. It kind of goes underneath here. These are just grounds, and then pretty much that's good to go. And then all I have left is going to be all these wires, which are power outs. So this is relayed power, except for the yellow, I believe. I read that as this is not relayed. This just goes straight from the power coming out of this box to the switch, and then through the switch power itself. So it's got to be a low draw. Maybe like LED lights or rock lights will be on yellow. But the rest of these, they're going to go to the fuel pump, the fans, trans fan, whatever else. So got a bunch of them. Hook them all up, and it will be awesome. So really excited how it's turning out. I think it's turned out awesome. Hopefully Josh thinks so as well. So moving right along. I won't video it just because it's just wiring. So I'll give you kind of some progression shots, and we'll go from there. So all right. Okay, we are done on the wiring. So gutted this thing pretty good. Threw away a lot of it already. Macy dragged a bunch of it away, but we are good to go. So pretty stoked how it came out. I really like this box. It's a little bulky, like the width, I guess, or the height. It's a little bulky, but it's really sweet. So everything's up and running. Basically, this is your ignition, and these are all your lights. Fans are over here. Lights, those lights, rock lights, and then the light bar up top. So yeah, she is good to go. All the gauges are installed, well, all two of them. And then last, the sound bar has been wired all the way to the battery. So the battery looks really clean. I don't know if you could see it down there, but put some new terminals on it. The rest, or the old ones, were pretty roasted. But yeah, other than that, she is ready to spin around. So I'm gonna pull this thing out, and we are going to be pulling out this center chunk. So this center chunk is good. It's a pull out of a deuce-and-a-half truck that was in a field forever, so it should be like brand new on the inside. So we're pulling this one out. That center's already been redone, and that axle's already been redone. This center chunk has not been redone, and that thing's about to explode. So it's going to be pretty comical when we tear it apart, because I know every single bearing in it is going to be thrashed and just junk, and probably some pretty bad looking gears, because it popping and making all sorts of weird noises. So yeah, first things first, let's get it spun around, and then pretty much want to kind of jump into these. So these links are already the uppers, so the uppers are done. The lower links are, I have to fab up the lower links, and then pull off this crappy truss, throw all that away. And Josh bought some new, I don't know who makes it, I can't remember who makes it, but he bought a new truss system similar to the rear for the front. So that's what we're going to be welding on and installing, and it'll be good as new after that. So anyways, let's get to getting. ass sucker is loud. So I do like the rear steer though. It's hydraulically driven off the engine. So it's got a second power steering pump on it. And it's pretty smooth the way it works. I've never drove a rear steer that's not electric over hydraulic. My buggy's electric over hydraulic. So it's just a different feeling, but pretty cool. Let's get to work on the front. Alrighty guys, that's where I'm gonna stop on the wiring video, and we're gonna kick it over to another episode with the front axle being ripped out of this thing. So if you guys are liking this, like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Say bye. Bye bye.